Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna touch this. It was really nastier than I thought it was gonna be.
I'm not sure of it, or how I'd like to put into words the night we shared together. But I know there's hurt, like when you said that to walk alone was a scary thing to do, or how I failed to even lay one out on you. Oh, believe me, I wanted to. Did you want me to?
What was the first thing you ever really wanted? I remember what it was. For me, it was Nintendo 64, 1996, 20 years ago. I was 10 years old, and there was this game shop down the street from my house, and they imported a Nintendo 64 from Japan months before we got it here. I remember touching the controller and looking at Mario 64 and controlling him and bouncing around, and I just remember thinking, I have to have this. I wanted it in the way that only a 10-year-old can want something. You want it so bad, you have so much free time to think about it, and you have zero control over whether you get it or not. So I ran to my parents and I said, please can I have an N64? Please can I have an N64? And they told me that if I saved all my birthday money from October, and I did chores around the house, and I saved all that money, and I gave them that money before Christmas, I might get a Nintendo 64. And that was good enough for me. I went for it. And Christmas morning, I rushed downstairs, I ripped it open, and there it was. Now here's the thing. I don't wait for anything anymore. I mean, there might be like a movie I'm waiting for or a book I want to read, but I'm not waiting because there's so much for me to consume all the time, and I'm busy and my life is more full, and I've got this on me all the time, this little I have this for safety. This stops me from waiting even when I'm just waiting for a coffee, when I'm waiting for someone in the car, when I sit down to poop. Out comes this phone, and in it is every opinion I could ever need, pictures and stories and endless stuff to busy me up so that I don't have to wait for anything. There's this story in the Old Testament about a prophet named Elijah. And Elijah's on the run, people have been trying to kill him, and so he really needs to hear from God. So Elijah is told to go up on this mountain where he's going to meet God. Elijah gets to the top, and immediately there's this massive windstorm, and it blows all the trees over and kicks up all the dust. But the text tells us that God was not in the windstorm. Up next, there's this earthquake. It shakes the land, and boulders come falling down, and everything cracks apart. But God is not in the earthquake. Finally, there's this fire that breaks out. It swallows up the top of the mountain in flames, this massive firestorm. But the text says God is not in the firestorm. And after all of this, there's nothing. The text says there's the sound of sheer silence. And God is in the silence. What aren't we hearing? Because we never stop for a moment to be silent or even to be bored. There's this professor in Manchester, her name is Dr. Sandy Mann. She's written a book called The Upside of Downtime. And in it, she did a study with a group of people. Half of them did really boring activities before the study, and the other half of them lived their normal life and came in for the study. They asked the group to look at a cup. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm gonna touch this. They gave them a cup. They gave them a cup, and you know what a cup looks like. I don't need a freaking prop. They gave them a normal cup. And they asked them, what could you do with this cup? The one group just gave some normal answers, and they gave a few answers. But the group, this is interesting, the group that was bored before doing the test, they came up with not only more options of what you could do with a cup, but more creative options. Not just so you could put stuff in it, but it could be earrings, it could be a little drum, you could wear it like a Madonna bra. They came up with more creative options because they had time for stillness and boredom beforehand. there's this thing called the church calendar, and you can take part in it whether you're religious or not. But it was a gift given to us to help break up the year, to break up that feeling that every day is just like the day that came before it. And we are entering into a season called Advent, an intentional time of waiting, of anticipating, of boredom. It's a time where you prepare yourself for Christmas Day. And I know right now some of you are saying, ooh, silence and preparing myself. That's adorable, Kevin. But I've got assignments, kids, work to do, Christmas shopping. I don't have time right now for waiting and stillness and silence. But what if we could make some intentional times of waiting without actually changing our schedule at all? What if we just tried to reclaim the time that we scroll, where you want to reach for your phone? Because I love Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff, and Snapchat, like the kids like, a few minutes in the car while you're waiting for a friend. What if when you ordered a coffee, you just looked around for a few minutes? What if when you sat down to poop, you just pooped and allowed yourself to just not do anything for a minute, to look around, to be observant, to catch your breath? And that might seem like nothing at all, but in a culture as busy and overproductive as ours, it may be the first shift in something much bigger.
I'm not sure of it.
You may find yourself noticing things you haven't noticed before. You may find yourself engaging with people that you normally wouldn't engage with. You may find yourself hearing fresh words in the silence. You may find yourself being filled with that anticipation that a 10-year-old has for something good at Christmas. So there's the challenge. About a month of no passive scrolling. Little moments of silence and waiting. Are you in? Happy Advent. Hey, thanks for watching this. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jesse.
We're happy to make these movies. There'll be more coming out, so please subscribe and share this challenge with people for Advent. It's not that you can't ever go on social media, it's just that default to your phone. Just don't do that for Advent.
Yeah, thanks to Travis Stokel, his band's called Savart, for the music. Thanks to Jared Helder for helping us with the stop motion.
Yeah, and we'll be back around Christmas time for another one. Thanks.